Nation against nation, brother against brother, men so filled with hatred.
Good evening and welcome to Deliverance Church Langata. This is the Biblical Perspective program. We are here with a gentleman who we have recorded quite a bit with. You would almost consider that he's a key panelist. Indeed, he has been. And this is Vincent Kimosop.
Yes, sir.
Karibu
Asante,
sana.
asante. Thank you.
There are several things that are happening right now that will really require our prayer and concern. I've been following the situation about the war taking place after Russia invaded Ukraine. And I find it so disturbing.
It is. Because,
that somebody, I mean, you will not think that people can be where they can still just mobilize military and attack an independent country without any provocation. Just because of certain interests.
Yeah.
And I don't know what your views are before even we get to our local context. Is it good enough what the international community is doing by just putting sanctions, doing what? Is that good enough?
First of all, I think since our viewers need to be appreciate context, this is an issue that has an historical perspective.
Yes.
So the first part is that you know the Second World War.
Yes.
If you trace it back. That led to the formation of the United Nations. Then thereafter, we moved into the Cold War. That is the competition between the capitalism and communism, the former USSR and then the US. And of course, you know, with that competition brought us to '89, where the Berlin Wall, which was really the clear physical demarcation of capitalism and communism, the place and the theater being Germany. So with the collapse of the Berlin Wall, of course, that was the triumph of the West and by extension the triumph of capitalism. And then the disintegration that followed with the former USSR republics. So Ukraine...
The Soviet Union. Ukraine was now at one time part of that.
Yes. In fact, a former president of USSR came from Ukraine. So the historical ties between Russia, as we know today, and the Ukraine, and also then the other thing is that part of the Western alliance came together and say we need to defend each other against attack because the war mainly happened, the Second World War happened mainly in Europe. So that came in, brought in what we call the North Atlantic Treaty Alliance, NATO organization. So NATO has one principle of collective security, where when you attack one of us, is an attack on all of us.
All of us, yes.
So with NATO, then you have the EU, that is a movement for towards collapsing of borders, collapsing of currencies, and you have some of these Eastern European countries, which were formerly part of USSR, joining EU. Now, when you look at all that, one of the things that came out clearly is that will Russia allow the onward movement of NATO until to be part on its borders in terms of Ukraine? So that the Putin has been talking about it for a long time. And of course, so that is the political and the historical, but also the other interest of the rise of Russia, particularly militarily, technology, and therefore wanting to go and rubber stamp its authority by the invasion that we've been having. So this is something that has been coming. Putin has been talking about it. He's been president from the year 2000, and then it's only this one exchange when he became prime minister, but power, he was still the one who was wielding power. So when you appreciate all those dimensions, you're able to locate what is happening. I did not know the closeness of the war in the war in Ukraine until my friend, the son was schooling in Kiev. Sorry, in Ukraine, one of the cities close to Poland.
Yes, yes.
He has just arrived yesterday to Kenya.
To Kenya.
After crossing the border. So these things, we are so closely linked.
Yeah, I know.
That small things like this show us that, hey, we need to see how we should pray for global peace.
We really need to. Yes. We need to. That's an issue. Yeah. And maybe part of our prayers today we need to do that. Yeah. Now, like you all know, those who follow this program, we usually address current issues. Yeah. We are a biblical perspective program. We're going to look at things and try to bring a biblical context and also clarify some things that may not be clear to many people. Yeah. One of the things I wanted us to do to achieve in this program is to tell people about the timelines for the election calendar. Yeah. Because IBC has already declared some timelines. By the way, if they keep it, fundraising by political aspirants, all aspirants, political candidates are supposed to conclude their fundraising activities by December 9th, 2021. Yeah. Then regulations of public offices, according to the EABC, any person, IBC, all public officers desiring to aspire for any political position were supposed to have quit by 9th, resigned by 9th of February. Yeah. On March 14th, 2022, which is Monday next week, IBC will issue a notice of alert to alert Kenyans on the planned selection date slated for August 9. Yeah. Appointment of returning officers and deputy returning officers. By April 22nd, the Elections Authority, by 22nd of August, April 2022, the Elections Authority should have completed the registration of returning officers and deputy returning officers mandated to oversee the elections in different parts of the country. Then there's the issue of the political party primaries. This activity is rated for April 16th. Between April 16th.
Between 9th and April 16th.
And no, it should be April 16th and to be concluded by April 22nd, 2022. That's primaries.
Yeah, that is next month.
Yes, next. Yes. That's no. April. Oh yeah, we're in March.
Yes,
it's next month. Yeah. Then resignation of persons intending to contest as independent. Yeah. Persons intending to vie political seats as independent parties should resign from their current political parties on or before May 9th. So there's a little window. Those of you who feel that I was popular, but then somebody got a nomination in my party, they can still go independent. Yeah.
But
a little window.
You have to resign from a political party.
You have to resign. Yeah. That's what they have said. Then, when nomination of presidential election, parties should have clear presidential flag bearers by June 10th. They will have from May 30th, 2022 to decide on their candidate. Yeah. Nomination for the Senate and on and on. But, well, I think the issue of timelines are very interesting.
No, it just tells you that is what happens with leadership. And I commend IBC. By giving people direction, what happens is that kwa ground, sisi tunasonga mbele. Then, you give guidance, you give certainty. One of the and stability to the process. Yes. So of course it is required of them by law. But by summarizing like this, I am working closely with some of the candidates. Yes. And you can see clearly. Can I tell you? It's 33 days to the 9th.
Right now,
33 days as we are talking, to the 9th of April, where the journey towards the nomination, because parties will announce the dates for the different candidates. Yeah. So you can imagine you have a month. That is the time you realize you need all the resources, you need all the motions and facilitation. And I commend myself the IEBC, and I wish them well.
Yeah.
I wish our nominations, you've noticed also political parties that have changed their constitution to allow for different ways of nominating. Some of them have even approved opinion polls.
Yeah. So
that we do an opinion poll in the constituency, we know who is popular instead of disturbing people and going through a nomination. Because the challenge is, at times nominations, they are what is it? You go into a nomination, and at times there is the breakaway or the standoff that comes as a result of a nomination, the stalemate. And if you don't manage to keep your party together after the nomination, at times some of the people might defect and support other candidates. I was discussing with a candidate yesterday and his strategy for winning. And one of them, let me tell you, people are doing everything and they're putting all the strategies in place to make sure they make it to be on the ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I'm very impressed about. And one of the things we do, we actually pray for IBC, that God will really help them to remain independent and impartial, and refuse to compromise the fidelity of the laws and regulations that govern who they are and what they do. Now, from the look of things, can we say that it looks like it's going to be a two-horse race, or you think there will be some what can be called the outliers?
It's called what? The formations are clear. Currently, the formation is, as we are talking today, Kenya Kwanza on one side and Azimio on one side. Those are the formations. And your president,
do you think the deadline is that are kept for them to deposit their coalition agreement, they will be able to meet the deadlines?
They will meet them because the members of parliament currently, their attention, all MPs, to go back, to go and change the law, to go back.
There's no
their attention. Am I going to go and change the law to save somebody, or I need to be on the ground to save my political future?
Now, there is this conversation that has been going on about Kalonzo Musyoka having had a
secret
pact with the former Prime Minister, which nobody knew about, and has just been blown the last 2 days.
That's why you deploy your missile at the right place. You don't put all your cards. Don't be surprised. Others might even be having. It is part of the journey of him upping the stakes. You know, I'll tell you this because we discuss politics here. According to the formation, you cannot go into an election, Bishop, without a framework that factors in the Mount Kenya.
Yes.
That is the reality.
Yeah.
So the challenge, therefore, is if you already know that you cannot go into an election without a Mount Kenya stake in your ticket, what happens is that Kalonzo was the running mate of Raila in 2013 and 2017. So Azimio has been formed, and there is a perception that the running mate is going to come from the mountain. So he has said, I have no problem working with you, but let us an open, structured dialogue to agree on the terms. And Your Excellency, the President, I want you to be the guarantor of that process. To the Kalonzo team, that he has had this pact, and he said, Raila, you said this in 2017, that you will support me in 2022, even if we do not win the election in 2017. So now Raila says that has been frustrated by circumstances. And if you notice, if you listen to Professor Makau Mutua, together with Professor Kivutha Kibwana, who are all really supporting Raila, they actually are saying, you know, we should, this agreement has been overtaken by time. Now, why is that agreement very important? There are people who have moved out of Raila's camp who are saying, we thought you would support us. So what Raila has to do is to point out that I am still the person you can entrust your future with. I am still the coalition partner you have. And that's why if you read on today's headline, what has Raila's team said? If you are saying we want to begin on the same footing, let us invite equal amount of delegates, and then let the delegates decide. So what does that undo? It has deflated Kalonzo's allegation. That now it's okay. I'm not denying that there was no agreement, but on the 2022 Azimio ticket, if we are to work together, why don't we do what? Let the delegates decide. Now that gives Raila a head start, because remember, Jubilee under the president's leadership has already said sisi tuko na Raila.
But let me ask you this also,
yes.
at the same time.
Yeah.
You see, essentially, I mean, originally, the perception was that Jubilee Party were going to have a conversation with ODM for the formation of Azimio.
Yeah.
But then I saw, I saw the Jubilee Party receiving some small parties and making them part of them.
Yeah. So that they are
that is giving them
but through Jubilee.
Through Jubilee.
Yeah.
And does that mean now that is supposed to also become a negotiation or to make themselves stronger as they negotiate with ODM?
And so that you will have three formations within Azimio. You have the OKA formation, One Kenya Alliance, under Kalonzo Musyoka. So that is the One Kenya Alliance. Then you have ODM as a party, telling you that if it's a party that produces a presidential candidate. And then you have Jubilee.
Yeah.
So you have three principles per se in Azimio. So what the president is doing is a very smart politician. He wants to increase the stake of Jubilee as the party leader and as the patron of Azimio. So that if we are to form government, what happens? He has a bigger stake or a bigger say in the post-election framework.
Yes. Now, Mr. Musyoka, the former vice president,
His Excellency.
Why did he wait until now to bring this information?
It is, I tell you, he is a politician. You know, for you, when you're going for negotiation, you strike when it is hot. You don't strike when it is cold.
Yeah.
You know, he's been on the headlines for the last 1 week after releasing this. That is what makes you relevant. So you keep your ticket until the right time. And this is the right time because...
Let me ask you this. In your own assessment, and you are an intelligent person...
Bless the Lord.
Where would he go with this? Because right now, the way things are...
I was on that thread. I was on that thread telling you that the candidate of under Azimio, the perception is that you have to have the running mate coming from the mountain.
And that is why even the other side...
So for Kalonzo to be able to have a huge stake and a head start, is that he has to put this on the table and say, Raila, we have no problem working with you, but remember this. So that in the discussions of the running mate position, what happens? Because already more parties in Azimio support Raila.
So but how many times is he going? You know, he went around the country so many times saying that he was not going to be a running mate of anybody. His name is going to be in the ballot.
His ballot. But you see, the question is, you also need to appreciate reality. What is the point of running? And then you come up with, you remember the last time he ran, he had close to 800,000 votes.
No, there's a time he got more. There's a time during
but he's only ran once. He's not ran twice. Kalonzo has only ran once.
As president?
2007, yes.
Was it?
No, he's never run.
Didn't he have it 1.7 million?
He
that time when he joined.
Votes.
Only?
Yes.
Why did I think it was 1.7?
No, it's because remember it was closely contested between. It was the close was Kibaki and Raila.
Yeah.
Kibaki with 4.5, Raila with 4.3, and then 800,000 for Kalonzo. That's why had he chosen a side in 2007, he would not have had the situation that we had in terms of the closeness that we had in 07.
Oh my!
So I admire that kind of political move because it has shaped the political conversation. That's why the unveiling of the Azimio presidential candidate has now moved from a direct thing to the delegates voting. Because if you give all the parties that are present equal amount of delegates, members of Azimio, so what is going to happen? It means the party that I've told you, the delegates of Jubilee, likely to vote with the delegates of ODM.
Yeah.
So
they will beat him.
You keep it, you put it open. Therefore, Kalonzo cannot say that Raila has not accepted my overtures and my requests that I put on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a very interesting days.
No, as in the future of our country is coalitions. And the future of our country is negotiate. It is people coming to the table to negotiate. Now the advantage with that it reduces the. You can no longer have the winner takes it all. You have to bring people to the table. Yeah. Even I will not be surprised even Kenya Kwanza might have to attract additional partners to join them.
They will. They will.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be expected to happen. But my thinking is.
Yeah.
I'm very, very concerned, and I hope we are going to move quickly to develop a strategy of getting these politicians to be ready to concede defeat should they lose. Because I know that you have been privy of some of the information that's come from the deputy president or in the US, raising what can be considered to be very critical concerns.
Yes.
And thank God that the report in the US assures Ruto on polls as purge of allied officials shift to counties. The key thing is he is very concerned because of the fact that his boss, the things that have happened in this country are completely unprecedented. I don't think, and maybe I don't know everything, but I'm yet to be told that there was a situation where a ruling party joined the opposition so that there is like the opposition and the ruling party were now working together so that the opposition party stopped becoming the watchdog is desired, so that now it's like the watchdog is somebody who was now in that government who went on the other side, as if now he operates from an opposition side. So this has never happened before.
At
least not in this country.
You need to appreciate, they normally say new wine in new wineskins, right? So we have never transitioned from, we have politically, we've never transitioned to the current framework under the Constitution, where Parliament performs oversight as the legislative arm. Do you know, we are in a pure presidential system, but you have a situation whereby the leader of official opposition, a position that is not even there, we are still talking about the opposition.
So
telling you very clearly that even with the 2010 that moved us away from that to pure presidential, we are yet to transition. So the best thing is, why pretend? Return the position of an official opposition, facilitate them to play their oversight role. That for me is the message I'm picking. The other thing is, it's not the first time a sitting president supports somebody other than his or her running mate. It's not the first time. It's not also the first time where a sitting president has struck an agreement with the opposition. It happened. Jerry Rawlings in Nigeria, in Ghana, supported an opposition. So when you look at all this, it's what we say, Bishop. In politics, there are no permanent friends or enemies.
It's the interests that are common.
Interests.
That's exactly true.
Interests. So when you have permanent interests, that is what we are seeing in this situation.
I saw in the paper yesterday where some of the ODM fellows telling Kalonzo, hey, choose. And we don't need you that much. If you want to bolt out, go ahead.
It's part of political strategy. So, but you will notice it is not the senior ODM fellas. It is done by usually mid-level people. So that's to test the ground. Because if the truth of the matter is that Azimio, led by Raila Odinga, and Kalonzo Musyoka on board, their chances of actually winning on round one are going to be increased.
Now, you see, all the statistics we have, and of course we have to wait for what Mr. Wolf will say after it's clearly aligned. Everything that I've had so far is positioning the deputy president with a very clear lead.
In terms of If elections are to be held today?
Yeah.
Yes, of course the opinion polls have been showing that.
Yeah.
But you also cannot ignore the momentum that Azimio is slowly gathering.
Yeah.
The goodwill that they are getting from government. The president of the country has already declared that he is in Azimio.
Yeah.
And the challenge with the way things are, that is something the UDA or Kenya Kwanza cannot ignore. Because when they are doing their nomination, the goodwill of government infrastructure all the way to the police, to the ground, if you know that the president is not on this side, the level of cooperation and enthusiasm, vis-a-vis the level of enthusiasm, when people know that the president is neutral. Like 2013, what Kibaki did. Kibaki, did not come out strongly.
I
He
know,
only waited on the other side.
Yeah.
So that gave IEBC a more leeway to prepare, and those are some of the things that the observers and those who are keenly following the 2022 elections are observing. How do you deal with the fact that you have an incumbent, a president, who has taken sides? Not only taken sides, he is invested in terms of, he has a political party fielding candidates, and he is not supporting his deputy. So that is a factor you cannot ignore.
Well, we'll wait and see. But for me, my consolation is only one. Personally, I see that Kenyans need to get to a place in which they do accept the reality.
Yeah.
That the possibility of the presidency is with two people. And it could go either way. So what we need to do is to prepare our supporters. Azimio should prepare their supporters that they can lose to Ruto. And they must concede. And the Kenya Kwanza, led by the deputy president, should also prepare their supporters that they could also lose. So that whatever happens, what we don't want in this country is chaos.
No,
Do you understand?
That one is possible.
And that's what I feel as if it can be a greater responsibility for the church.
Yes, and that's...
And we do it not too late. We do it early enough. Because I think one of the objectives of the mediation team that we formed in EAK was that there can be people who can directly go and meet the deputy president and he trusts them and they tell him, Your Excellency would like you to understand that you are going into an electoral competition.
Yeah.
And they say in Swahili, asiyekubali kushindwa sio mshindani. Because let me tell you this, what has troubled this country most is when elections are declared and then somebody refuses to accept.
But what we have to do is, this is where the moral institutions come in. This is where prayer comes in. This is where the media comes in. And this is why we have to appreciate that success of an election is not only the product of the IEBC. It is a responsibility that is shared
all of us. I want you to pray to close this.
Okay, let's pray. Our Lord and our God, we thank you for our country. We thank you for the opportunity to serve. Bless you, Lord, even as we continue. Pray for energy and strength. Guide us, Lord. Thank you for Deliverance Church Langata, the family and the ministry. Bless you for everything. This I pray through Christ our Lord.
Amen.